We are live on YouTube. A big hello and welcome to a new week. It is a new week on the Geekanoids channel, and I have got so much planned for this week and some very exciting news for you as well. Now, in this particular live broadcast, as always, I will be taking questions throughout the broadcast and answering them a little bit later on. I've got a couple of products here from Anker that I want to show you, including a new brand from them and a new product that is super interesting. So do stay tuned for that. I'll be covering these products very shortly. Before I do so, a little bit of housekeeping for you. I just want to let you know what's coming up on the channel this week, and tuning into these live broadcasts gives you this early sort of sneak peek and an indicator as to what's coming up. So the Amplify HD is a mesh Wi-Fi product. Really cool product, really well made as well, great build quality. That went up on the channel this morning. I've also got coming up later today, and I've been showing you this throughout the last sort of week or so whilst I've been using it. I did an unboxing and sort of a mini review on the Sony Xperia XZ1. This is the XZ1 Compact, and I'm going to be bringing you my full review of this later on today, so please do tune in to a new broadcast later on where I'll be covering this. Really cool product though, so but no spoilers in this particular broadcast. Also, if I just reach over here, this might look like a bundle of wires, but if you have got notifications switched on, so if you subscribe to the Geekanoids channel and you've got those notifications switched on, you will have seen about a minute broadcast this morning, and people were tweeting me. I also had some comments on other videos saying, Dave, you're addicted to live broadcasting or live streaming. You did an early morning live stream about 7 AM and I was up testing another camera. I had a request or a suggestion in a previous live broadcast to actually do multicam in the videos, and at this stage I can't really afford in the budget to purchase another Sony AX53, which is proving to be very good quality. So I was just testing out this little brother web camera for a top-down view, so I could show you some of the technology and gadgets in a little bit more detail. The quality on this was okay, but I think if I mix this with the quality of the Sony AX53, it won't look that great. This also sort of comes in and out of focus every now and again, so I wasn't happy with that, and it got me to thinking, yes, I could do another angle on the videos, but does that really add anything to the broadcast when I can show you the product? I won't do it now, but I can sort of hold the product up close to the camera and show you it. I think the only advantage may be when I'm demonstrating something on the smartphone, but I'm sure I can find a way of doing that remotely or wirelessly to actually sort of broadcast the smartphone screen. I'm sure I can do that. I will work out a way of doing it. Maybe I can connect the smartphone to the computer here and share the screen that way. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I was trying this morning. Few more little bits of update. I've got another live broadcast coming to you on Wednesday evening. That's a really cool broadcast on some security and VPN software. I've also got another broadcast with a really cool pair of headphones that will be super interesting if you're into your fitness or indeed golf. So that is throwing out a curveball to you there to actually tune in a little bit later in the week as well. I'm also working on a new video for the Watch Lifestyle channel, and also towards the end of the week I've got a really cool little external screen. So if you do like video editing or sort of graphics work on the move and you want to connect an external screen to your laptop, I've got a really cool little screen to share with you as well. So that's what's coming up on the channel later in the week. Also, and a big hello to those of you who are watching. I really do appreciate you tuning in. Darren and also Bit, thank you very much for tuning into the live broadcast. Also, I have got another announcement, and it's in experimental stage at the moment. I will put a link down in the chat there. I am experimenting with Twitch. I have had a Twitch channel for probably about 2 years, which has remained sort of redundant and not in use. I've experimented with it before. This time around, at the moment, you'll see some sort of video footage that I've already broadcast, sort of my archives of video going up on Twitch. I'm urging you to actually subscribe or follow as it is at the moment. Hopefully I will become a partner there in the future, and then you can subscribe free of charge over there if you're an Amazon Prime member, which is really cool. That's a really nice feature, and that's what I'm going for, is to encourage you to subscribe there if you're on Amazon Prime, because then it doesn't cost you any extra. It's part of your Amazon Prime sort of subscription fee. And apart from the archive footage being placed over on Twitch, I will then start live broadcasting there from time to time, just to see how the interactivity goes and to see if it's a platform for me. You know, I've been on YouTube for 11 years now, and I love using other platforms. I've been using Discord chat just lately to communicate in some other chat rooms, and I'm on pretty much every other platform apart from Twitch. So do support me there if you can. Use that link and hit that follow button, which in the future will probably turn into a subscribe button as well. So, shall we move on? Shall we look at this technology? Let's do it. Let's take a look at this one first of all. Anker packaging is very, very simple. Love that they use simple packaging. This is the PowerPort Speed 5. This is a desktop based USB charger. There is a link to both of these products I'm showing you down in the video description, so please do check them out, including a link to the Anker website. I've shown you these before, but this one's a little bit different. This is a USB charger. Now, if you have smartphones or tablets or other devices that charge via USB, including things like digital cameras now, of course, even digital cameras that don't charge via USB, you can normally get external battery chargers for said batteries and use those to charge using a device like this. This one's different because it's got quick charge 3 ports. It's got 2 of them at the top here, and they actually output a maximum of 3 amps. That's very important because it means that they can be used to charge the likes of the Nintendo Switch, and in some cases some Ultrabooks as well, but they also allow you to charge your smartphones a lot quicker. And then we've also got some intelligent ports or IQ ports down here, and they output a maximum 2.4 amps on the ports. I think this one's a total of 63 watt output, so a nice beefy charger. So we've got 5 ports in total, and instead of having to have 5 different plug sockets accommodated by smartphone, a tablet, maybe a compact camera, something else that runs via USB, even a Google Home Mini, or this product here for example, if it charges via USB or powers via USB, then this is well worth checking out, because you can have 5 devices all charging via the one little product. This is what the side looks like, this is what the back looks like. You get a power cable inside the box, and then we've got the Anker branding on here. Now, a little tip for you. I'm in my editing room. This is my main desk, got another desk behind me here. What I normally do with products like this, I put Velcro on them, and then Velcro on the underside or the side of a desk, put it underneath the desk, and then along the front edge of your desk you've got 5 easy to access USB ports, or indeed on the side of a desk. And I think I've got 3 in the editing room, and I think I've got 2 in the studio as well. So really highly recommended, because it saves taking up lots and lots of sort of main sockets to charge multiple devices. Darren Bird says, does it charge iPhones as well? Yes, it certainly does. Anything that charges via USB. So you use the device charging cable that came with your iPhone or with your Android phone or with your digital camera, plug it into one of the ports, and it serves up the power. And don't forget, this supports quick charge 3 as well. So if you've got a smartphone that supports quick charging, then this will deliver the necessary power for that. So that's the first product. Really very cool. Next product is a new Anker brand, or I'm not sure if it's brand new, but a different brand from Anker, and this is called Zolo. This is the product itself. I'm going to show you the actual product packaging. This is the product packaging. This is their Mojo speaker. It's a Bluetooth speaker, but it also connects via Wi-Fi. It's got far-field voice control, streaming music via Bluetooth, 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi support, multi-speaker configuration as well, or synchronization, and the Google Home app for either Android or iOS allows you to set up this speaker. So I mentioned the Google Home Mini, which I've got up here, which has obviously got Google Assistant built in. This little speaker has got Google Assistant built in as well, and you can stream music to this via Bluetooth as well as connect it to your Wi-Fi and use the Google Assistant feature. If I just show you a quick guide around the product, on the bottom this is just like a rubberized base, so when you've got it on your table or desk or shelf it's not going to slip around too much. We've also got a mute button on the front, so if you want to stop the speaker from listening to you, because it's always listening, then this is the button you would push. We've also got the far field microphones on the top there, and then round the back we have got the input for the power supply, and we've also got a little LED light, and that's a little Bluetooth button just there for setting it into Bluetooth mode and connecting it to your device. So it's part sort of a silky sheen colour, or silky sheen finish on the top I should say, and then we've got this plastic grille around the front that goes around the sides as well, and the branding on it is Zolo, and again there is a link to this down in the video description. Just wanted to show you again so you get that nice focus in on the product. You can see how well it's made. It is made of plastic, admittedly, so it's not a metal device, but it's really nice grade plastic. The far field microphones, when I tested it, pick up your voice from a nice distance, equally as good as a Google Home Mini or the full size Google Home device. And the speaker, I would say, is a little bit better than the Google Home Mini. I can't show you this up close because it's plugged in, but this is the Google Home Mini. I showed you that in a previous broadcast. Now this particular one, I think the audio is better than that. Not as good as the full-size Google Home or some larger speakers, but almost, and it's tiny, a lot smaller than the full-size Google Home. I think the sound quality is really very, very good. I really do appreciate that they've brought out this product. I love seeing these Amazon Echo speakers and also the Google Home speakers as well, because Home Assistant for me actually has surpassed my use of my Amazon Alexa product as well. Apologies if I set your speaker off. So this is the Zolo Mojo. Zolo Mojo. So do look out for this, and again there's a link to it down in the video description. Let me just touch on audio quality in a moment. I just want to say a big thank you to Drav Joshi. Thank you very much for your super chat. I really do appreciate it. Super chats are an awesome way for you to show your appreciation for what I do on the Geekanoids channel, and I really appreciate it. Druv says, "Hi Dave, like your videos." Thank you very, very much. Have a fantastic day, and thanks again for that super chat and your vote of support. So back to the Mojo, the speaker quality. Let's talk about audio very quickly. We talked about the voice pickup, which is really good, even from across the room. Super good pickup. The audio quality for all audio tracks that I've listened to, and the voice feedback, so when it's speaking back to you, the answer to your query, for example, is really good. But for music listening in a small size room, it fills the whole room. Very clear audio, nice bass frequency, but not too low. It's a tiny little speaker, come on, you've got to give it that, but it still does a good job at the lower frequencies. Mid-range is absolutely fine, and the higher frequencies and all the little intricate details in the audio track you're listening to come through very, very clearly indeed. I love the actual quality of the voice on this as well. A lot clearer, I think, than the Google Home Mini. Not quite on par with the larger Google Home, but still a very, very good speaker option from Anker and their Zolo brand. So that is the Zolo Mojo, and as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, there are links to both of those products down in the video description. Elst asked, does it have a USB-C port? I think you're referring to this. Anker do have a product with quick charge with the USB-C port. This is the one that doesn't have the USB-C port. I was expecting the one that did have that to come through, but this one came through instead. So it's still a good product, but you can get one or a variation of this with USB-C. Bosim asks, any advice for being self-employed? I have got plenty of advice I could give you for being self-employed. I've been self-employed for pretty much all of my working life, and I think the main thing I would say to you is to do something that you're passionate about. So don't become self-employed with the main focus on just making money, because if the money doesn't come quick enough for you, I think you'll soon become very discouraged in fulfilling your dream. So do something that you're really passionate about. So for me, and that can change over time, it doesn't matter if that changes, that's really important. For me, when I started off my first self-employed business, which was doing a magazine, before that even, I was doing car valeting, but then it transitioned to being really interested in Amiga and Apple products, and I started up a small magazine, which was like subscription based, and alongside that I did shareware software and other publishers' software on disk. That changed over time, and then I went through a period where I was an IBM engineer. That changed. I was a self-employed graphic designer. I fell out of love with doing graphic design. I still enjoy the design aspect, don't get me wrong, but servicing clients was what I sort of fell out of love with the graphic design industry I was involved in. And what made me transition across to doing the Geekanoids channel was that during my period of being a graphic designer, I was the go-to person that people asked me, which smartphone's best? Is this a good smartphone? You know, should I buy an iPhone? Should I buy an Android phone? Should I buy a Nokia phone, as it was back then? Should I buy a Windows PC or a Commodore Amiga or an Apple computer? What's the best mouse, the best keyboard? I was asked this time and time again, and I started sharing that in written form, and then I moved across to doing video form in YouTube videos pretty much within a month or so of YouTube starting up. So it's okay to move to different things, but I digress slightly there. But what I was trying to sort of give you the example of is do something that you love doing, because then when you have dips in revenue, which you will experience if you're self-employed, your passion for what you do pulls you through that. It's a very, very important factor. The other tip I would give you is if you're self-employed, you control your own time. So you have to be very, very dedicated. You will have people pulling on you. So for example, I'm self-employed. I can choose when I broadcast, when I make a video, when I take on various projects, when I do my commercial video clients videos. And you will get people pulling on you. Members of the family, friends, can we do this? Can we do this? Sometimes you have to learn to say, well, no, I am working, even though it seems like I'm not. Even though I'm sitting with my feet up doing work on a laptop, I am working. Even though I'm working at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, I am working. It is towards the goal that I've got. So sometimes it's really hard to say I can't do that. It's still important, obviously, to make time for family and friends, but try not to mix it. And the other thing that's important is to learn to say no to clients. So don't undersell yourself. If you're providing a service, then price that service accordingly to whatever the market is charging at that time, and don't be tempted to take on all the work just because you want to be seen to be busy or be popular. Because what if you take on 10 jobs at £50 each, and then one client comes along that's a big spender and is going to spend £2,000 or $2,000 with you, and you can't take that on because you've got these 10 other small jobs with people ringing you and contacting you for feedback on their jobs all the time. It's much better to price your services accordingly and deliver the ultimate quality to a smaller client base and charge correctly than to have a really big client base that are only using you because you're cheap. So I hope that helps. That is my main advice for if you're self-employed. And I could go on and on. I could do a whole broadcast on advice for being self-employed or running your own business, but that's not what this broadcast is about. This is about the Anker PowerPort Speed 5 and also the Zolo Mojo. But I hope that answered your question to a certain degree. Let me just see if there are any other questions. Darren Bird says, interested in sound quality as opposed to Amazon Echo's new products. Well, I haven't tested the new Amazon Echo products, but this, in comparison to the Google Home products, sounds as good, almost as good as the full-size Google Home. Better, in my opinion, than the Google Home Mini. Not to repeat myself again on that, but With regards to the new Amazon Echo products, I've seen some early reviews of those, and the smaller one that they brought out, not the Dot, but the sort of where the Amazon Echo shrunk in size, I've heard it doesn't sound quite as good with regards to pure music audio quality. So just in closing, this is the Anker PowerPort Speed 5. Really highly recommended. Anker make fantastic products. I've reviewed their products for many years now, and the fact that this has got Quick Charge 3 and the IQ ports. What the IQ ports do is, for example, these bottom 3 ports actually output up to 2.4 amps, but it's like an intelligent port. So if you plug something in that's only drawing 1 amp, it will output 1 amp. If you plug something in that's going to draw 2.4 amps, then it will ramp up the output and charge it accordingly. So it always gives you the highest output through the port that your device requires. So these are really very good products for saving plug sockets. So, and I go crazy sometimes. I have so many products in for review, you know, things like smartphones all the time, having to unwrap the chargers that come with smartphones and charge all the devices. You'll see over the back here I've got some cables. I've got a USB-C cable, and I've also got a lightning cable. That's this one here that's currently charging something that's out of shot, my Magic Trackpad. So I use those. So this needed charging so that I could use it and test it for the review, USB-C. So I just plug it into these cables that I've got over the back of the desk here, and underneath the desk I've got an Anker USB charger. Not this particular model, an older one, because it's been under there for a year or so, but that's what I use them for. Very convenient. Bosim says, thanks for the advice, Dave. You are thoroughly welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. And Darren Bird says, new software update for the new Amazon Echo improves sound quality. That's really good to hear. It's good to hear that they can improve sound quality on their devices. Another little bit of an update for you. I have had it confirmed that I should be getting loan devices for both the Razer phone. Yes! I've had so many of you ask me to do coverage on the Razer phone. In fact, I talked to 2 people over the weekend. One of them a relative, one a friend, and the relative, which I didn't even know this was going to be on his radar, said, have you heard about the new Razer phone? Are you getting one in? And also the friend that I was speaking to said he's had so many people in his social circle ask about the Razer phone. So there's a lot of interest in it, especially from a gamer's aspect. So I have got that coming in. I've also had the Huawei Mate 10 Pro confirmed as coming in. And also I will be having the HTC U11 Plus, which is something that I'm buying in with business funds, so that I can bring you my opinion of that. I also had quite a few questions about the iPhone 10. Well, update for you here, sneak sort of update. I was going to talk about this in another video, but I will tell you this now. So for those of you who tuned in, you're getting a little juicy bit of gossip here. My iPhone 10 that I had in is now with its new owner. People didn't believe me. They said, Dave, when you get the iPhone 10, you are going to keep it, you're going to fall in love with it again, you're not going to switch to Android, you're just saying it for the videos. Well, let me tell you, the iPhone 10 is no longer in the Geekanoids studio, no longer in the editing room, no longer in my pocket. It has gone to its new owner, and I didn't like it at all. And something that I really wanted to just tell you about, let me grab my phone out of my pocket, because I'm currently still using my iPhone 7 Plus. And again, I went to swipe down from the top because the control center was from the top on the iPhone 10. This is a really good example. If Apple really wanted to give you the Face ID that they've done on the iPhone 10 with their true depth camera, if they were truly wanting to push out new technology to the majority of users, and they really cared about the user rather than the bottom dollar and how much they're putting into their almost $1 trillion company, then they could have easily accommodated that true depth camera or true depth sensor and the cameras from the iPhone 10 into the iPhone 8 or the 8 Plus very easily. They had no reason to change the design. If they wanted to give us an OLED screen, they could have done that years ago, and again, they could have given us an OLED screen in the iPhone 8 or iPhone 8 Plus, but they didn't. They chose to release the iPhone 10 early because we now have it officially, the official information that the iPhone 10 was due out next year, and they brought it forward to this year. So they did that to see, or to test the market and see how many people would spend £1,000 or $1,000 upwards, depending on what capacity you went for the iPhone 10. So it just goes to prove that the iPhone 10 is not a finished device. It is testing users to see how much they will spend, and the notch was just to give it a differentiating factor and a different design, and to call out to those people who are bored with their iPhones and want something new to try. That is my honest opinion of it. I didn't like the notch. I said I didn't like the notch when it was first announced, and people jumped on me and said you're just doing that for the views. I didn't like it when it was announced. I didn't like it when I had it in my hand. I appreciated what they did in terms of hardware apart from the notch. I appreciated the quality of the screen apart from when it was off axis. And talking about the screen, even since then, people complaining about the screen off axis, but also this green line coming down the screen, which could be a faulty display. So there are problems with it, and this is what the early adopters have to deal with. But I personally was not prepared to invest £1,149 in that top end version just to test the product for Apple. I was not prepared to do that. If it had been an amazing user experience with the software, then yes, I would have done. But iOS 11 still is not completely sorted out. So I just wish, and full credit to Roberto Blake, who brought this to my attention in his broadcast on Chris Prillo's channel. He brought to my attention, so full credit to Roberto, that they could have incorporated that camera technology into the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, and they chose not to do it. So full credit to Roberto for speaking out on that front. For me personally, I just knew I didn't like the notch and the way that the software was going to have to make excuses for it. I didn't like it at all. So but anyway, this is not a rant about the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. So if you've got any more questions, we have got Darren Bird also saying bring on the HomePod. Yes, the HomePod does look interesting. That's Apple's new speaker, which was announced earlier this year. I think it's due out next year, early next year. That looks really good with regard to audio quality. The thing, or two things, that worry me about the Apple HomePod. The first one is, of course, the price, because you are paying the Apple Premium. I think it's due to come out around about £299 or $299. So that concerns me. The other thing that concerns me is Apple give you this sort of closed device. So it's only going to work with Siri, which is not as good as Google Assistant in delivering back coherent and good results. More often than not, when you ask Siri about something, it will send you to web results rather than actually communicate the results to you. And there's a lot more functionality in both the Amazon products with regard to voice assistants and the Google products. So that concerns me as well. If Apple open up the API so that you can sort of get more functionality from it, then I think that's going to be a good thing. John Berry says, notch to see you, Dave. Very good play on words. I actually bought a Google Home Mini today and was really amazed with the sound quality compared to the Echo Dot, which is woeful. I thoroughly agree. The Home Mini, the Google Home Mini, sitting up on my shelf there, is so much better with regard to audio quality than the Echo Dot from Amazon, which is their tiny little version of their assistant, for both the voice quality and the audio quality. It's far better. So much better to spend your money on that if you're not tied into the Amazon services, which I don't think many people are when it comes to the voice assistant, because this is something that's meant to be useful to you. With regards to audio quality, John, if you are looking for something that's even better in my opinion, audio quality than the Home Mini, then the Zolo Mojo from Anker is well worth checking out. I think that the music tracks I played through that sound far better than the Home Mini, and it's every bit as good as picking up your voice as well. So anyway, that is it for this live broadcast. Don't forget to tune in later. I will be bringing you my review of, if I can unlock it, there you go, the Sony Xperia XZ1 Compact. So the review of this is coming up a little bit later on today. Do tune in for that, because obviously I'll be showing you some camera examples from this smartphone. I'll also be talking about my user experience with it, how comfortable it is to hold and how pocketable it is, and also I'll be taking your questions about this as well. So do tune in later for my Sony Xperia XZ1 review. So have a fantastic day wherever you are. Fantastic week ahead for everyone. I always love a new week. A lot of people say they don't like Monday mornings. I absolutely love them because it's a fresh start, a whole week of new opportunities. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again later on today.